Hi, hello guys. So today we are going to see the practical session of VPC creation, subnet creation, routes and everything. So let us go to our AWS console. So now we are going to create our own VPC. So we are trying to create our own VPC. Okay. After creating this VPC, we are going to create two subnets. Two subnets, right? We are going to create this VPC in the IP range of 10 points, since this comes under private IP 0.0/16. So we are going to create these many IPs for this VPC, right? After that, we are going to create subnets with the following IP range. Don't worry about these IP ranges. I'll be explaining about the IP calculation in a separate video. So for now, we are creating out of this range, we are creating some part to subnet and some part to the other subnet. Okay, yeah, let's go to VPC. How many VPCs we have? See, we have two. This I have created in our previous class. I'm going to delete this. Before deleting VPC, I'm gonna delete NAT gateway and then elastic IP followed by, yeah, see, this is the NAT gateway which I have created earlier. I'm going to delete it. I have deleted and I need to go for elastic IP. Okay, that is in EC2. It's okay. So route tables, did we create any route tables? No. Did we create subnets? Yes, we did. So let's delete these two subnets. I'm going to delete. So we have deleted the two subnets. It will take some time to load. Okay, one has been deleted. Let's delete the other. Okay, this subnet is connected to internet. Okay, let's go for internet gateway. Let's delete this internet gateway or detach from VPC. Okay, okay, fine. So let's go here. Let's try to delete this VPC. So VPC have been deleted. Let's go to the subnets now. We don't have any subnets over here. Let's go to internet gateway. Let's try to detach from VPC. Since VPC is not there, it should network has applied some public keys another public address before attaching the gateway. Okay, fine. Let's go to our EC2. Let's go to elastic IPs. See, here we have three. So two for our earlier servers and this one have been attached to the VPC when we have used for NAT gateway. So let's release this IP address. Fine. Okay. Now let us go and create VPC. Go here. See, we have a VPC. So now we are going to create only VPC and let us give the name as my VPC. So we are allocating the IP range, group of IPs. CAD here means group of IPs. So here it is anyway recommending the same. We are going to follow the same. So let us give for 16. Okay. So no IPv4 CADR block. Yes. Default tenancy. Keep it as it is. Name. We have it got fetched from the name tag here over here. So let's create VPC. Now, according to our diagram, VPC have been created and we have allocated this IP range. Now let us create two subnets and attach to this VPC under this IP range and this IP range. Let's go to subnets. See, we have only three default subnets which were created by default. These are managed by AWS. We are not going to use those subnets, so we are going to use our own. See, let's select my VPC, that is our VPC which we have selected. See, we can see here the IP range group of IPs. Now let's create my subnet 1A. So that I wanted to mention that it is in 1A zone. Okay. See here 1.0. Don't worry about this IP calculation further. I'm going to prepare a separate video. There you will have a clear understanding on calculation of this IP sender. For now, only understand that this is part of this IP is a part of this IP range only. Okay. To that extent, have a knowledge on it. Okay. So my subnet has been created and we are going to create two subnets, right? So this is a private IP, which means this subnet is a private subnet. Now we are going to create another one. So let's go here. So I am going to create in 1B zone. So I wanted to create in 1B zone. So this is my subnet and let us give 10.0.2.0 by 24. Okay, name has been fetched again from this field. So subnet 1 has been created like my subnet 1A Asia Pacific region and this is the group of IPs. This group of IPs is part of this group of IPs. So we have used a certain part for subnet 1 and certain part of private IPs to subnet 2. Let's create these two subnets. So subnets are being created. So 1A, 1B we can call it as. Now we need to, according to our diagram, when you go there, we need to enable public IP for this subnet. We need to enable because we wanted to launch web server. We wanted to launch web server into this subnet. So we have private IP allocated for this and this. Now we are going to allocate or enable, not allocate, enable public IP for this subnet. Let us go and do that. So let's go for 1A. Let's go for actions. Let's click on edit subnet settings. Here you have an option called auto assign public settings. Auto assign IP settings, nothing but it will assign public IP automatically. See, enable auto assign public IP v4 address. Select on that and then save it. Now public IP has been enabled, after which we are going to attach internet gateway. We are going to attach internet gateway for this VPC. So let's go to internet gateway. Click on internet gateway. Okay, we are not going to use this default. This is a default internet gateway. So we are going to create our own gateway. So my internet gateway. Fine. So this is my internet gateway. So we are creating this. See, I have an option here to attach this internet gateway to, this is a default one. So let's do one thing. Let's, to avoid confusions, let's keep it as default. Okay, so now this is what we have created. go here, attach to VPC. We are supposed to attach to our own VPC. So now we are attaching this internet gateway to the VPC. So now, according to the diagram, internet access has been attached to the VPC. But in order to get internet access from VP to C, from VPC to subnet, we need to enable the root. So we need to give a root table for this subnet. Only then this internet gateway from this VPC can come to this subnet, right? So this subnet has anyway public IP, so it has the access. Now for the internet gateway to have access to this subnet, it should have a root table. So let us go to the root tables. See, here we have two root tables. What are these? One is one is default one. This is AWS default one. AWS default, correct? And we have one more root. What is this root? We have created root table. We have created our own VPC, right? So this is a VPC root table. We have created one VPC, right? At that time, one root table has been created. For that, one IP has been allocated. Yesterday we saw in our diagram while explaining. I told about a few. Yeah, just a minute. See, reserved for 10.0.0.1 reserved for the VPC router, which means this is the IP range, this is the IP example which will be reserved for the VPC router. So that is what it is reserved here. Now we are going to create a new subnet and attach to what, and attach to this subnet. So let us create my root table subnet 1 for my understanding. So I'm going to select which VPC, my VPC. So click on create root table. So you guys may be having a doubt. Sir, while creating this root table, we have given only VPC. We didn't even select any subnets over it. Yes, now we are going to do. So first the root table has to be attached to the VPC. Then in that VPC we are supposed to attach the subnet associations. See, where is the subnet associations name? See, root sub. Yeah, here is the subnet associations. Click on here subnet associations. You have a edit subnet association. So click on it. Okay, so you have how many subnets in this VPC? You have two subnets. To which subnet you wanted to attach this router? You wanted to attach to the this subnet 1A. So I'm going to select and then I'm going to save the associations. Now subnet has been attached to this route table. Now let's go back. Now try to understand this. See, this is the route table attached to this subnet. Okay, let's click on this. Now we are supposed to get into the targets. Okay, see, we are editing the routes. What does this mean? Let us understand. Just add the route, understand. So according to our diagram, this route table is been attached to this subnet. But then this route table target should be internet gateway. Only then the connection will happen in the both ways. If this route table attached only to the subnet and if it doesn't have any attachment to the internet gateway, then how will the connection will be established? No, right? So we have created the route table in this VPC and then we have attached this subnet. Now we are supposed to attach or give the target as internet gateway. For that, we have gone to the route table and then edit routes. In editor, what is the target? Gateway. Which gateway? Internet gateway. So click on it. So whenever we have an internet gateway, we should always give 0.0.0.0/BG. So simply mug it up. Okay. So for having the access over the internet, since we have selected the internet gateway, we are supposed to give this IP. It's a thumb rule. Fine. Now let's save the changes. Now what happened? The connection between internet gateway and this subnet have been established to the root table. Right? Now we are going to launch web server into this subnet. So let's create an instance. So we are going to create an instance and launch certain web server related commands. So let's launch. So let's give the name as web server. Select Amazon Linux, T2 Micro, key pair. So I'm selecting the existing one, and then security group. You can allow all these three ports. Okay, let's go to advanced details. I'm going to give the commands here. Read, bash, install, update -1. So before this, I need to go to the root user. This is just commands, guys. You already know. No, I'm going to install a certain web server, right? Like Apache. So for this, I'm doing in Amazon Linux, correct? So I have updated, and then I have a option like install HTTPD, nothing but it's related to Apache. And then check config HTTPD on, and then so I'm starting this whenever every time when I start the server, automatically Apache will start and running. So later on, I'm going to go here. So here I'm going to do happy pay appended to index.html, and then service HTTPD. So this is the web server detailed comments I have entered while launching the instance. Okay, I'm trying to launch the instance. Just try to save these comments for future use. So let's go to here. So the server has been created, which can be called as web server because we have installed web related commands over it. So it is initializing, correct? So let's go to the diagram. So I have installed this web server. So this web server will have public IP and it will have private IP. So while creating, I'm going to edit some ports. Let us see what are those ports and all. It's still running. Okay, fine. So here I have a security. Click on security. I have security groups. Click on security groups. I have inbound rules. So I'm going to edit. So HTTPS means anybody. See here the rules are like 0.00 means anyone from the globe can able to access my internet. Anyone from globe who have the SSH key can also access. But this shouldn't be the case. So I am going to select only my IP. So this is my IP by 32 means only one IP have been selected. So only through SSH key, I from my laptop only I can enter. Even though if I wanted to log in from another laptop, it will not happen because it will not match with this IP address. Each laptop will have a different IPs because they use the internet and all. So now this is the IP which is allocated to my IP based on the internet. So only myself can able to enter through the SSH, correct? And anybody can enter since I have given HTTP access. So I'm saving the rules. So let's go to the dashboard. Let's go to instances. See web server. I'll try to log into the web server and see whether this web server command happy pay is running or not. I have selected and then going here, paste it. Okay. Before that, I can also check with the either public IP or EC2 DNS. Okay. See, happy pay is there. Correct. Yes. So this is how it is. So it is completely up and running my web server. Next, what to do? Next, we wanted to create another server which is called the DB server. Okay. Now I wanted to create a DB server. So where I need to create in subnet 2. Let us go here. Now I wanted to tell you one thing. See, I have created this EC2 instance. EC2 instance. If you carefully observe, this EC2 instance have been created in 1 year zone. Okay, fine. In which VPC it is created? It is created in default VPC. How can I know? Check here. See, it has been created in default VPC. But where it should be connected, it should be created in our own VPC. So this is not the right way. Most of the guys do mistake at this point of time. They create the servers, but we should able to select the VPCs. Now let's terminate this. So now let's create another EC2 instance. That is the reason I have selected the commands. Okay, got it. But then where to find the VPC and all? See, I do not find the VPC and all. Where to find? We have it. So go here, select demo keeper, edit. We have a edit option. So which VPC you are going to create? My VPC. Under which subnet you are going to create? Under 1A subnet. See, public enable is already enabled. If you want, you can disable here as well. Correct? See, anywhere? No, my IP. Okay, let us save. Let us also give HTTP and HTTPS anywhere. Another one for HTTP. There is HTTP here. give it for anywhere, so anybody can access. But from SSH only I can access because my IP is only whitelisted over here. So go to advanced details, go here, copy this, paste it, launch. Now this is the process of launching an instance in our own VPC in our subnet. See, now you go here. Now this is terminated, right? Just try to refresh. It is pending. If you go down, and see my VPC subnet 1A. So this is how you create a web server instance in your VPC in your subnet. Now this has the access to internet. See, this got created from this private IP address, and this is the public address. So 10.0.1.169 is the private IP address which is allocated. So this 169 number, it's like it will be allocated automatically, but this is the range. This is the range. That's what we need to see. Next, we need to create another instance, right, for DB server. So let's create the DB server. This time we are going to create in subnet 2. So DB server instance type, let us create the same key pair. If you want, you can create n number of this one, my IP, correct. To select my VPC and then subnet 2, that is subnet 1B, correct. Since this is a DB server, we are not going to launch any web servers, so we are not going to give any commands. Now this has been created and this has been created. DB server has been created in private subnet 2, and this has been created in web server has been created in this subnet. Now this subnet is no more called as private subnet because it has private IP, public IP, and internet gateway. So let us go and change the name of that particular subnet. Where is the subnet? In VPC. Okay, so click on the subnets. So in subnets, when you see you have two subnets. So this 1A subnet is no more called as private subnet because it has internet access and public IP. So we can call it as public subnet. And this we can call it as private subnet. Now let's try to create another server, nothing but Boston server, that is very similar to the EC2 server. And we are going to connect to this server, and from this server we are going to connect to this server. Let us do that. Let's go here, EC2, launch an instance, give the name as Boston server. Okay, selecting this T2 micro, you can select demo key file, security group. See, only don't allow any HTTP access if you want. So we are just allowing our own SSH traffic. So nobody can enter into this Boston server because we are not giving access to HTTP. Whoever having the access key, they can only, but even though I give SSH traffic, that is that is only eligible to my IP. Because I gave only my IP. This is called whitelisting of IP. Yes, I'm creating this instance. So who can access to this Boston server? Only I can access, because only my laptop has been given whitelisted, has been whitelisted with the IP. Now let's go to this diagram for better understanding. Okay, we have a web server, DB server. Now we have a Boston server. Boston server will have both public and private, because it has been created in this subnet. Because in this subnet it has private IP, whereas it also has a public IP. Anyway, since root table is connected to this, it will have the internet access. We only gave SSH access. So now only my IP is whitelisted, so only I can log in. From here, I will try to connect to the DB server. How to connect from DB server to Boston to DB server? Let us see. Now I am going to connect to Boston server first. So I'm going to, okay, there is it. Yeah, this is the Boston server, right? It is running. So I'm clicking here, copying this, going here, trying to connect to the Boston server. Where am I? I'm in the Boston server. But then how to connect to the, how can I connect to the DB server? I can connect through the SSH, but then I can connect from ECG from my laptop. But then how can I connect from one server to another server? Very simple. Copy the SSH of this server and then paste in this command line interface in this terminal. Let us for that go here, go to the instance. Okay, go to the EC2 dashboard. I'm into global view. Let's connect to Mumbai region. It's loading, loading. Oh, let's select the EC2. Okay, fine. So here I can select, I am supposed to select the DB server SSH key. So go here, go to the connect. Let's try to copy this. Okay, I have copied. Now I'll try to give. What is this? This is the IP address, and this is the username, and this is the password file. So to log in to any server, we need to have three. What are those three? One is, okay, we may need to have DNS or IP. This is one. Second, we need to have the username. Third, we need to have the password or key or password, right? We have IP. How I can say I have IP? See, this is 10.0.2.4, that is the IP code. Username. EC2 user is the username. Password. See, demo.pem is the password. But then please understand, demo.pem is a file. Okay, in that file we have a certain content. But then here, this is not a password. So it will not allow. See, if I try, it will not allow. So for that, we need to have the file called demo.pem in this directory. But then how to have, this is a Linux, and here it's going to be, see, this is a Linux, correct? This is Linux. So how to get the file? And the file is in my lappy. So for that purpose, we have a option called SFTP, which is Secure File Transfer Protocol. We are going to do that. I'll show you how to do that. search browser, macros, tools, sessions, tools. Should have a SFTP. Okay, it's keep on updating, and we have a little problem on identifying that tools and all. So it is a common problem for everybody. So let's find out where it is. Session tools. Okay. Okay. Tools. It should be in tools actually. Okay. We'll do one thing. I'll save this session for part one, and I'll just release a part two. In that part two, we'll have a continuation of this session. Okay. Let me check and come back to you all. As I also said, today is Sunday, I have some other plans. So till here, everybody complete. In part two, I'll explain the process from here on. So I'm sitting.